Hey folks, I'm Papa Boris, and I'm really excited to show you a game that's just come out. This is a cross between Geometry Wars, a game you might have played in the 2000s if you're an ancient, decrepit sack of decaying flesh like me, and of course with the survivor in the title, Vampire Survivors. So, Geometry Wars was a twin-stick shooter where you're trying to shoot at geometric shapes, and if one of them hits you, you die. In this game, the aesthetic is really similar, but there is no shooting, there is just the moving. Of course, a la the Survivor genre. Now, I've been playing a little bit, but I haven't unlocked anything with the meta progression other than the thing that gives you more credits, which is what you spend to unlock stuff in the meta progression. So we're basically playing a fresh save file. Let's go ahead and play. You choose your ship at the beginning. They all start off locked until you unlock them with credits. We'll just be the basic ship here, and let's take a look at the game. So you move around, and if you ever played Geometry Wars, I mean, this... Like, I had not played Geometry Wars in, God, like 15 years. As soon as I saw this, it was like, oh my God. I just got wrecked with nostalgia. The aesthetic is very, very similar. It's clearly a work of love. Now, the developers also then added on the Vampire Survivor stuff on it, where enemies drop behind little blue dots. Those are experience. Pick up enough blue dots, and, you know, you get a level up. And when you get a level up, you choose one of 3 upgrades. New means that you don't already have it, and it adds a weapon to your arsenal. So this is a spiral projectile, or you might get something that matches an upgrade you already have, and you can make it better. And in fact, you actually see that at the bottom middle, we have like that little lightning bolt and the little circle with dots in it. So auto aim is your starting weapon. It just shoots at the nearest enemy, and if you upgrade it, it shoots faster. Loot magnet, the lightning bolt, this pulls all loot towards your ship. And I'm actually not entirely sure what range plus 100% means. I guess maybe that means it doubles the range. So it doubles maybe the range at which experience and credits gravitate towards your ship. Let's go ahead and grab a new weapon. So there you can see that spiral, pretty cool. When you pick up a new weapon or an upgrade for a weapon, you shoot it immediately. And then every weapon has, in addition to its effect, a cooldown. That spiral projectile seems to have a pretty lengthy cooldown, which is fine, because it also seems like it's pretty good. Now, this is early days, of course, so I'm not an expert by any means, but, excuse me, it seems like there are some weapons that just kind of like do stuff, and you don't need to worry about it, and then there are some where you need to like think a little bit more about how it works. This fat beam is actually not my favorite weapon, but it like shoots this, you know, fat laser beam in whatever direction you're currently moving. So that would be more of an example of a weapon where you actually have to like think about the usage, because you need to like spin your controller around or just like point in a direction and fearlessly plunge in there in order to get the most out of it when it pops. And I find that my thumb gets hurt on my controller stick spinning it around to get everybody with the fat laser. All right, so this is a sphere that destroys enemies but does not make you invulnerable. I actually have never used this before, so I might take that. Blast shield is what it sounds like. It protects one hit and then it comes back slowly over time. I'd rather get that later. Right now I would like to get more weapons that, like, you know, help me kill stuff. I'm gonna take Allied Chip. So Allied Chip is a weapon that you don't need to worry about. It just does things on its own. But I wanted to pick it to bring up kind of the other metric to consider besides whether the weapon is a fire and forget or whether you have to like use it actively and think about it. There's also the question of, does it add any clutter to the screen that looks like enemy ships? This thing right here that just did that little thingy, that is my allied ship. And so having it on the board can be a little bit confusing. There's a cognitive load to saying, hey, is that an enemy or is that like my own thing? And so if you take a lot of those types of upgrades, then that can potentially, depending on your skill at managing your cognitive load and quickly processing what you're seeing, make it more difficult for you to dodge enemies. Penetragon, an autonomous projectile that flies around and wreaks havoc. Well, I like the sound of that. I like having a thing that just flies around that I don't need to worry about, but that actually also does add to the load, because that little triangle thingy is, you know, kind of like an enemy. I don't know that it's necessarily a drawback that sometimes your stuff looks like enemies and may make it, you know, a little confusing to process what's happening on the screen, because that could just be a skill element. I'm also not sure how they would fix it. There's another game I like a lot in the survivor genre, which I have not done videos for, but I think is actually my favorite game in the genre. I like it even more than the OG Vampire Survivors, and that's 20 Minutes Till Dawn. It's similar to this in that, unlike in Vampire Survivors, you have only a small number of health. Like in this game, you can get hit 3 times. In 20 Minutes Till Dawn, depending on the character, you have different numbers of hit points. But in general, it's not many. Whereas in Vampire Survivors, you have like HP and can get hit potentially a bunch of times. Orbiters fly around you and damage enemies. I am going to try Supercharge because it's new and because Orbiters add more clutter to the screen. So, oh, interesting. Oh, I like this. Okay, so that does not look like an enemy. It's not confusing. And it's like one of the types of weapons where you actually have to think actively about how to use it. It is, dare I say, geometric. But unlike the Fat Beam, it doesn't cause muscle strain, like spinning the joystick around. Instead, it's just, moving strategically in such a way that when the blast shield pops off, it hits a lot of enemies. That blast shield, oh my god, it has a very long cooldown. Very long. Okay, let's see. So we can make the supercharge. Yeah, I'm gonna take this. The cooldown minus 20% seems good because it has a very long cooldown. Alright, I haven't mentioned a few mechanics. These little yellow thingies, those are mines. If you run into it, everything in a radius explodes. And there is a meta progression upgrade that increases the radius of those mines. Oops, I just tried to fat laser my own allied ship. But it is a friend, not a foe. In case I didn't mention this, the blue dots are experience. That's how you level up. And the yellow dots are credits. They are the meta currency that you spend between runs to unlock different ships or get various upgrades that are in effect regardless of which ship you're using. We'll take a look at them at the end of this video. Alright, so I can upgrade my existing weapons. Oh yeah, so you can see in the bottom, there's like 7 little hexagons there. Those are your weapon loadout spots. At this point, I cannot get any new weapons because I filled up all 7 of my spots. So this is what I'm rolling with for the rest of the game. There's a triangle button on the controller. Oh god, I'm like, and so kids, the PlayStation controller has a triangle button. Okay, so when you're playing with a controller, the triangle button lets you do a reroll. You can improve the number of rerolls that you get with meta progression upgrades. So if you don't like anything, you can re-roll it, but I guess I'm fine with it since I'm upgrading something. Let's go ahead and make my allied ship a bit more effective so it targets, I guess, more enemies before it pops off. Okay, that lightning bolt that we see there, what that does is it pulls all the loot on the screen to you, or a lot of it. Oh god, I almost got hit there. I'm not sure if it's everything on the screen. That is definitely borrowed directly from Vampire Survivors, which also has a thing that just pulls all the loot to you, which means you get a bunch of credits and also a bunch of experience. That glowing heart there gives you an extra hit point, and it is not like it replenishes your hit points. You see that my health total now went up to 4 where it began at 3. I don't know if there's a limit to how many hearts you can have. It does seem like that bar kind of runs out of space at some point, but as long as you're not there, you get an extra life, and maybe even beyond, you can still keep getting more lives. I'm circling around here because I want to use these mines. I don't exactly know how the mines spawn or what makes them spawn. I don't know if it's like enemies that die might spawn a mine, or if it just spawns in the field at random. Did I just get hit? I think I might have gotten hit. Alright, let's make our spiral projectile last longer because it has a very long cooldown. So I might as well make it last longer when it is among us. Not a fan of the fat laser. My poor thumb, spinning around. Okay, we've got blast shield. I do like the blast shield. I've never played with this before. It's a very long cooldown, but it's just so effective. I like that the tooltip reminds you that it doesn't make you invulnerable, so it is possible for an enemy to slip in there. But in practice, as long as an enemy isn't inside of the radius when the blast shield comes out, you're safe because nothing can penetrate. I guess there are some enemies that we haven't seen yet that when you hit them, they create like a minefield and then explode after a short time. So you might, for example, pop one of them and then get hit by the explosion. I'm gonna run around here and try to pick up all these credits, because that is how you unlock stuff and get stronger between runs. All right, let's make the super chill happen, or supercharge happen more often. I did kind of waste it a bit because it has a very long cooldown, and when you activate when you select an upgrade to an existing thing, you immediately fire it off. And I guess that it probably doesn't happen if you're in the middle of firing off that weapon when you pick it up, but that's a very minor consideration, I think. Oh my god, that was juicy. That was juicy, and I am actually quite glad that I increased or decreased the cooldown on that blast charge. I would happily take again. Okay, these are the mines. Those red things. You have to be careful because they kind of quiver after you hit them, and then explode, and if you're in the blast radius, then you take damage. Yep, okay, so we've maxed out supercharge. Very happy about it. I do enjoy how different weapons upgrade in different ways. So some of them, you know, it happens more often. Some of them, it like increases the radius, makes it have a bigger effect. Oh my god, this is gonna be delicious. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. And then we go to pop the mine. Oh, I got hit. I stayed too long. Stayed too long. Can we fat laser those things? Oh, that's very satisfying. It's important in a game like this to let the player just feel satisfied myrtleating a bunch of peasants in the countryside. Oop, almost got mined there. Alright, let's see here. Longer. Let me actually make my Penetragon a little bigger. That seems useful. Alright. Is this the time to pick up my little friend, the lightning bolt there? I'm actually gonna grab this loot magnet. I feel pretty strong. If that is correct, if the developers correctly understand how percentages work, then saying range plus 100% means that it doubles the range at which stuff is pulled to you, which means it's pretty significant. I gotta say, I like my Penetragon because it's getting some of these enemies that have a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Unpredictable, errant. What? Oh god, I got hit. What's the word? Oh my god, I can't think of the word. Those enemies that kind of move in a sort of unpredictable way. Erratic, there is the word. Yes, the erratic enemies, it can be a little bit tricky to dodge. So, you know, if something's coming right at you, then you can lead it in a sense and be like, all right, so I'm just gonna get out of the way. But if something is like all like wibbly wobbly, it can be a little bit tricky. And I like having a Penetragon floating around, just killing that stuff so that I don't need to process how to avoid its erratic path. Gotta say, that Penetragon, oh, I got hit. Oh boy, I better take the lightning bolt then, because I'm at my last HP. And I better also get something that, you know, improves my power level. All right, let's just finish upgrading the Penetragon. Make it super big. It does look like an enemy ship, so there's a bit of cognitive load with that, but that's okay. Pop the mine at the opportune time. Yeah, the Penetragon's very cool. I like how big it is. It's definitely doing a number on the enemies. Ooh, a heart. Holy cow, that's good. I can breathe a little bit easier for a moment. But yeah, it looks like an enemy ship, so it is potentially like, oh, you try to dodge it, and then you end up, you know, confusing yourself and getting hit by an enemy. Alrighty. Got another lightning bolt. I don't want to take it right now because I fairly recently took one. You just want to make sure that you don't die with a lightning bolt on the board, because if you do, that means you just threw away a whole bunch of credits. Oh my god, the blast shield might be a new favorite. There's one weapon that we didn't get this time because I just filled up with other stuff. You know, I'm gonna just maybe upgrade the auto aim for a second here, just to shoot more. The auto aim is a pretty good weapon, honestly, and it, you know, oh god, can you thank you? Yeah, there we go. It is good at, it's also good at killing those erratic type of enemies because it just shoots at something and you don't need to worry about it. Okay, these are the mines. Their blast radius has gotten bigger, I note. Oh, that was tasty. The other weapon that I really like, hopefully we'll get in my next run, is the quad laser. That was my previous favorite until this run when I got that blast shield, and I gotta say I'm a favorite. I'm a converted. All right, we're gonna just take the spiral projectile. Just let it sit on the board as long as possible. And there is some merit to just getting the last upgrade on a thing, because that means that you're, oh god, gotta play. Oh, the blast radius of the mine. Okay, I need to go get that lightning bolt. Oh geez, I am in quite seriously a minefield here. Where's the lightning bolt? There it is. Okay, we're gonna grab it. Gotta make it. Oh my god! Okay, there it is. All right. All right, got a lot of credits there. I can now die happy. Oh, hey, that was my first time surviving for 11 minutes. Now, listen, I speak as someone who does not care about achievements. I am just someone who's like never been like an achievement hunter or cared in the slightest. But I gotta say, I do hope that maybe at some point, speaking on behalf of the people who do care about achievements, that this game improves its achievement game. Because as far as I can tell, all of the achievements are just survive X minutes, where there's 20 achievements, and it's just one achievement for each minute up to 20. And like, I like that because I don't care about achievements, and this way I can just get them for playing the game. But I imagine people who care about achievements are gonna be a little bit displeased. Anyways, that was Geometry Survivor. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe. It's honestly a pretty self-explanatory game, and you can just tell from watching a bit of gameplay if it's the kind of game you'd like. The end screen is really cool. It shows you how many enemies each of your weapons killed, and you can see auto aim was pretty effective, though it's skewed a bit because it doesn't account for the length of time that you had the weapon. One thing that surprises me here is the Penetragon. That was really effective. So I maybe will take that in the future, even though it does increase cognitive load, because it is like an enemy-like thing on the screen. Spiral projectile being that effective was also great. Now let's also take a look at some of the upgrades if you're, curious. So there's two places to buy upgrades. Shop. You can improve the blast radius of your mine. You can start with more health. You can make it so that when you get damaged, you are invulnerable for longer. Kind of a strange one, but I guess it is 2.5 extra seconds, fully upgraded. You get more rerolls. I actually have never used a reroll. I should check this. I believe that it's just like one reroll, period. But you can start with more. And I guess probably you want to be using rerolls early in the run, because once you have filled out all your weapon slots, you just get upgrades to stuff you already have. But rerolling at the beginning makes it more likely you get a weapon that you're really hoping to get. The loot magnet is that lightning bolt, and this increases the range of it. Okay, so it's not everything on the screen, it's everything within a range. Good to know. This increases difficulty, so we'll be doing that later. This increases your speed. We got basically decreases how much experience you need to level up. You can increase your movement, interesting. And this is one that I've already bought, increasing your credits. And then I don't know what this is, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm just gonna actually unlock more credits. So we're gonna load up on credits, and then we'll spend the credits. And also this means that some of my first few videos are just showing the base game without any upgrades. But also in the survive menu, you can unlock ships. So this makes it so that all of your upgrades are random. And that's it. You don't have any benefit to that. It's just harder. Okay, cool. This one makes it so that you get more credits, but you also level up slower. You've got regenerating lost health. Okay, that's pretty strong. Wait, what? Every 30 seconds? Well, no wonder that takes 4,000 credits. That is something I guess you save up for if you really desperately need to beat the game. This one just makes it harder. This one makes your movement drifting. I actually don't know what that means. That sounds bad, but especially because you get a bonus with it. Be curious to see that at some point. This one is cool. This was actually in the demo. It makes the whole game faster, which is actually like a good and bad thing. It's really nice design. It's good because it makes it like so you have to sit there for a smaller physical amount of time to beat the game, but it actually makes the game harder because everything is faster. So I think it's a really good double-edged one. And then what is this? Oh, you have an extra weapon slot, but upgrades cannot evolve. I don't know what that means. I don't know what evolving means. I don't think I've done an evolving. Upgrades cannot evolve. So they mean you can still upgrade, right? Like if it was like you have an extra weapon slot, but you can't upgrade your weapons. but it seems like you can upgrade them, but they can't devolve, which means there's some mechanic called devolving I don't know about. Well, we'll see what that is at some point. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.